this is BSN contributor Just Bukowski alongside my partner in crime, Kerry Gibbs, and welcome to the third installment of the BSN Collegiate Showcase podcast. This podcast is designed to get the listeners out there more information about the Collegiate Showcase that will take place in Akron, Ohio on March 9th, 10th, and 11th. Today on the podcast, we'll discuss wide receivers and tight end committed to the showcase thus far and let you know who our top three players to watch are out of this group. But first, the BSN Collegiate Showcase podcast is sponsored by HD Athletes, highlight videos and game films, NFL Futures, and let's not forget one of the official food partners of the BSN Collegiate Showcase, the Diamond Deli, the best corned beef in Akron. So, Kerry, why don't you get into the tight ends a little bit? Let's give us a list of the committed players.
Well, the group of tight ends is small now, but I look for that to grow by at least three more players by the end of the next week. But we got a very very talented group of huge tight ends here. We'll start off with Kevin Doty from Lafayette College, and what makes him so valuable as a player is he can also provide long snapping abilities for you. So I mean he's got a few dimensions to his game. Next we got Justin Aldridge from Northwestern State, who in addition to his tight end position, he's also a fullback. So again, he can provide you another dimension. Next we got Big Taylor Allen from Endicott, who also lists himself as a fullback. But this kid's big, 6'5", 250 pounds. I spoke with him several times over the past few days. He's really excited. Another big tight end, Michael Bird, Winston-Salem State. He had a huge year last year. He's if he needs to make a play, catching the ball, he can. But he's more there for blocking. I talked to him in the past few days. He's just as excited as I am. And last but not least, we got Clarence Ward out of Grandview. This guy can make plays as a tight end. He's got a great set of hands. So that's it for the tight ends. Like I said, a small list. I look for that to grow by at least three more players within the next week. Why don't you talk about the wide receivers, Justin?
All right, well, our first wide receiver on the list, ironically, was a starting quarterback at South Dakota, Dante Warren. He's looking to make the move to wide receiver for the showcase. Our next player out of Shenandoah, Rico Wallace, has received some NFL looks, followed by Southeastern Louisiana's Simi Yarborough. Then we got Brown's Alexander Tonkakara. He's a good wide receiver out of Brown, out of the Ivy League. Then we have the speedster, Demario Barber from Fort Valley State. He's also a good kick returner. Then Butler's Zach Watkins. This guy set school records while playing at Butler. Then we got big physical Lake Forest wide receiver Kevin Davis. And let's not forget about Julian Williams out of Marion, also another playmaker at the NAIA level. We have John Meadows from West Virginia Wesleyan. Robert Morris's Anthony Coleman. We also follow that up by NAIA Northwestern Oklahoma State's Kent McDonald. We've got Division III Mount Ida's Nick Lynch, and centers Jonathan Pekeek, who I've mentioned before, is a running back. But, Kerry, as we mentioned before, we're going to get into our top three players. And my top three players, I think you can probably take a guess at them already. I'm going to first go with the big physical Kevin Davis out of Lake Forest. I like his size, his weight. I think he's good at route running. And I think, playing at a little smaller school, I think he's gonna turn some heads at the combine. Southeastern Louisiana's Simi Yarborough. This guy's a speedster. I definitely like him. I think he's going to be one of the touted players to come to the combine. I think a lot of leagues are going to come after him. And finally, this player, as I mentioned before, has received some possible NFL looks. I'm going to go with Shenandoah's Rico Wallace as my top player out of the wide receiver group to watch. Kerry, who are your top three players to watch?
Definitely can't disagree with your list. That's three solid players right there. I'm going to start with number 3, Taylor Allen out of Endicott. As I said, I spoke to him earlier this week. He was giving me some of his raw numbers as far as the 4-yard dash goes, the broad jump. I was really impressed with the numbers he put up and his size. So I'm looking for him to make some real noise at the showcase. Number 2, I like Demario Barber out of Fort Valley State. I think he has a lot of raw ability just to make plays happen, whether it be in the special teams game or the wide receiver game. I look for him to be one of the more explosive players at the combine or at the showcase. And my number 1 would be Michael Bird out of Winston-Salem State. As I said earlier, he's got a big professional type body, and he knows how to use it in terms of blocking. And like I said, he can pull down the ball if he needs to make a catch. So that's my 3 players.
That's a very good list, Kerem. I do like Taylor Allen and Michael Bird from the tight end position, and Demario Barber as your wide receiver. Let's give a recognition to Kerry. He wrote a nice little piece on the BSN College Network about the tight ends coming to our event compared to the tight ends at the showcase. The numbers were pretty startling if you compared them. Good work, Kerry. But that's it for the third installment of the BSN Collegiate Showcase podcast. Stay tuned for more podcasts throughout the week about the defensive side of the ball and the big uglies within the trenches. Other than that, that's all we got today. So you stay classy, BSN.